All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Beyond the Naked Eye. Now, I'm super excited to start this new podcast, and I couldn't think of a better guest than my good friend and talented artist, Demars, aka Dona. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? I'm doing pretty well. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm really excited. I'm like nervous, but like I'm really excited.
I'm a tad nervous too. This is like when you did that interview on your radio show at Niagara College,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. I remember
there
that.
I
That
was like a
was
little nervous, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna play cool. I don't
yeah.
know
That
where
that,
they're
that
at.
turned out that turned out pretty well as well, I think.
Yeah, even though it was a bit of a shit show with like the hunter transitions and whatnot, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I feel like, for the most part, we did pretty well.
yeah.
Held a good con.
All right, so obviously the premise of this podcast is just to talk about you and beyond what you do, because obviously your main like what you're doing is like making music. Obviously, that's the goal. So my first question to ask you actually is, what was your introduction to music? What first got you started?
Well, actually, like in like into making music or just like listening to it in general,
I'd say
like.
making music, because obviously that's what you want to do, right?
Yeah, so making music, I'm trying to think of like what inspired me to do it. I think I was listening to like a lot of hip hop at the time. Like I used to be like a big rock fan. It was my trajectory of like a music listener was kind of weird because when I was younger, like my mom just listened to a lot of like early 2000s R&B and like just like main hip hop hits and stuff and like a little bit of rock. Like it's kind of weird mix.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself really liking a lot of that music. But then when I got like a bit older, like when I was in high school, was about when it started to peak for me. Like I was like heavily listening to music. Like I was like digging into the underground scene, and I had like favorite artists that I was jamming to often, and I found myself starting to like write music. Like I actually started rapping in like elementary school. Like funnily enough, I used to listen to like Macklemore and like like
Really?
yeah, I know that's pretty trash, but I used to like rap like covers. Like I did like a cover of like Thrift Shop. I remember, which was just like the corniest shit ever.
Love that
But
so
like
much.
it's so bad. But I think about that video and I kind of shudder. But
Is there footage
uh,
of this?
no, it's
Ah.
I wiped that shit off the internet. So I'm not even gonna try. Like, no, I'm not even. No. Um, yeah. So my initial introduction was like just rapping. Like I was just trying to write songs. Like, or it like obviously like covers. I was just like learning from artists I listened to. But then I started getting to like Odd Future and like Earl Sweatshirt became like a huge inspiration for me. So I was trying to be a little more lyrical and
Mhm.
not. I'm gonna pop some tags type shit.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, I want to write something
Yeah.
like Burgundy or some shit. But yeah, so I started writing a little bit to like beats on YouTube and shit, or like it was usually like instrumentals from songs I liked. I would like write to them.
Mhm.
So like I was just writing a little bit here and there, like in elementary school, and then it continued into high school, and I took a class like in high school. It was a like communications technology. Like I did it like 3 times, and like it was always like these really like artsy kids. Like they were always, I don't know, they had their foot in like one art or another. You know what I mean? Like you had the music kids. There was this one kid, like he would like rap and stuff. It wasn't very good, but like it's still
At
cool to like see.
least you tried.
Yeah, he was like he still loved it though. Like he's still doing his thing. And then there was obviously like the graphic design people and like the photography people, like video people, like I don't know, everyone had their lane. And in there I started like kind of getting this itch to like really, I don't know, try and make some music because everyone was doing their shit creatively, and I was like, I had all these ideas in my head and shit, but I just wasn't executing none of them. So I actually went and downloaded like the trial version of FL Studio 11 or some shit, and I started fucking around on that, and then I made some beats. They were really buns, like just like just dookie. But I was like, I'm having fun with this, so I went actually like bought the program, and then
Yeah.
I tried making some beats. Like I made a beat for like a segment in the, like they had a radio, like a early morning show for like the Comtech class. Like I made a little beat for it. It didn't get used because it was probably really ass. I don't remember what it sounded like, but yeah, that was kind of my introduction.
Did you help out with your high school announcements?
Yeah, I did. Like, well, no, I wasn't like one of the speakers. Like, I didn't go on there and like read the announcements or some shit. But I was like, I'm trying to remember what I used to do. I used to do like the do you remember, I don't know if you ever did like your school's announcements or anything, but ours was like a video program, so it had like there was like this thing where you were like the screen switch operator, so we had like 4 screens you could switch from, and it was like cameras, and some of them were like digital screens. So I would like switch the screens when it was like time to do them.
Nice. So like a technical director.
That was like my main thing. So I don't know what the term was. I was just like, they would tell me to press the buttons. I would press the buttons. Like, I don't know. It wasn't like, it was just something you had to do if you were in the class. Like, so obviously I did it. And then, yeah, and we had like a little like video short segment on there as well that we would do like every few weeks that I was a part of. But yeah, other than that, I didn't really have like a huge role or anything, but I was also kind of, I kind of stuck to myself a lot in high school. So like, I didn't really, especially like the first half of my high school career, I guess, like I was pretty introverted. Like I didn't.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah. Small group of friends.
Yeah. I was just a really insecure kid. Like, I don't know. I was a small dude. Like I was a late bloomer, you know, I had all these aspects. So I was just like, you saw the other kids and they were all just like doing their own thing. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go.
And also like another insecurity of like growing up young is like, if you're poor, that's like something you don't want to talk about. Because growing up poor, I was like so scared that people would judge me every single day.
No, I feel that shit's so fucked up. Like actually, the thing that really showed, I think, like my income level is like, so we had like school uniforms, right? And the idea is like, oh, there's school uniforms, like, you know, it's gonna flatten the curve here of like, you know, income levels, and you would think, you know, everyone's wearing the same thing. The thing is my family actually couldn't afford the uniforms, so I would have to go and get the donated uniforms. And dude, I swear to God, I was like a 26-inch waist in pants, like a 26, 28 probably, and I was wearing like 32-inch pants. Like,
oh man,
these things just, I was like swimming in them. It was so big. The shirt was way too big for me. I looked like an absolute dork. So it's like, these kids, and they're actually in shit that fits them. They like got it hemmed and everything. And I'm just like wearing this stuff that's like way too long for me, to the point where my feet are like ripping the ankle cuffs on the pants because it's just like dragging on the floor.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just looked even more stupid. I would have liked to just wear the clothes that actually fit me. That would have been cool. But yeah, so yeah, that was also like a big thing. And I went to like a Catholic school, so a lot of those kids, like, they're from pretty like, you know, affluent neighborhoods and shit like that. So I was like, I don't really fit in here, but
yeah, middle class.
Yeah, so yeah, to like bring it back around, like I think that was like my initial way of like finding my voice, like just like making my own production and stuff. Like, and actually Bryce was like a big inspiration for me. I remember like I started making beats, and he pushed me to keep going, because I was like, man, these sound like shit. Like I don't even want to keep doing these. Like, what am I doing? And he's like, dude, just do it, man. Like just push yourself. Go ahead, like post that shit. So then I posted booty ass beats for like you know, for like the first 2 years of my music making, and I got
shout out to Bryce though.
So yeah, shout out to Bryce. Seriously, you guys are an inspiration. Yeah, so that was kind of my introduction. I mean, it was kind of like I went off on some tangents there, but yeah.
Actually, that actually kind of segues into my next question. You mentioned Bryce. Did you have any other like role models, like family, friends, any artists? I know you're a big Frank Ocean guy.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking like artists, like, yeah, Frank Ocean's like a huge inspiration for me. I love his music. Like, I was actually the biggest Kid Cudi fan, like, for ages. I still am, honestly. Like, I loved his new project. Yeah. I think Kid Cudi was like pretty much one of my main inspirations. He was the guy who actually broke me into going off and listening on like my own music. Like, up until a certain point in my life, like I just listened to whatever my mom would like play, and I'd be like, ooh, I like this, like whatever. But like when I hit like around like I don't know, I want to say like 13. That's when I started really going in and listening to my own music. And Kid Cudi was like a huge like part of that. Like he kind of bridged the gap between like the rock music I was listening to and like contemporary like hip hop. And yeah, I think he's definitely one of my biggest inspirations. Earl Sweatshirt, also another big one. Like hugely lyrical guy, really in touch with his emotions. Like a lot of the artists I really get a lot of inspiration from are like they really focus heavy on emotion in music, which is
Hmm.
something that I think is like really essential to who we are as like human beings, really. So when you
Hmm.
focus on that in your music, like it really shows, and that's the music that impacts me the most for sure. So like guys like that.
I think like a big part of like media on any platform, whether it's like a movie or TV show or anything, music, is I think it's really important to like evoke emotion. So I think honestly, from listening to your music, I think you do a good job of doing that because like all from here was just like, damn man, whoa.
Yeah, yes. Actually, yeah, I'm trying to get in my singing bag again because I've been making a lot of rap music lately, and I made a song for my girlfriend's birthday there, and I'm
Nice.
like singing my heart out like a little baby. And
Shout out to Leia.
shout out to Leia, yeah. Also, shout out to Leia. Another huge inspiration, especially at this like stage in my career. Like someone who continues to push me, like for sure. Like kind of puts a boot up my ass when I'm being slow about shit.
Hmm.
Like I went on that slump where I didn't put any music out for like almost a year. And like she was the one who made me post 3 tracks back to back to back, like so shout out to her too. But yeah, so I made a song for her like birthday, and I'm gonna post that soon. And that
Oh, I'm
one's like
excited. Nice.
yeah, it's
Um,
kind of in the vein of All From Here, but like better production because I made that song like 2 years ago. But yeah.
so obviously you said earlier that like you started early as like elementary school, but like at what moment in your life were you like, this is what I want to do? Music is like the passion. Or did it slowly
Mm.
build over time, or was it just like a snap moment? Like I want to fucking do this.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a like definitely wasn't like a oh I want to do this. Like it started off as a hobby for me. Like I just really like music. Like I found myself obsessively listening to it, to be honest with you, and like I just want to try my hand at it and see if I can make something. And when I was like younger, I was just experimenting, like just sticking around trying to make anything really. And I never really posted any of it. Like it was all for myself. But like I think the moment when I decided like yeah I kind of want to do this, like I try and find a lane somewhere to do this shit, like I think it was probably when let me think about that one. I think it's when I put out like my first like rap song, like when I put out I just put it out on like SoundCloud, like probably almost 2 years ago now. um it was like this track, it was called Feeling Like, where I made this, my buddy Liam, also shout out to Liam. He was a guy I started producing with early on. He sent me like a sample to chop up, and I chopped the sample up. I made a sick trap beat with it, with a beat switch and everything. I wrote this whole song to it, and like I put it out there, and it got like a few hundred views in like a week or whatever, and I was pretty amped about that. So that was, I think, was a big moment where I was like, okay, the traction's there. Like I might be able to hit an audience with some of this shit and like do this full time, because I think like I was trying to convince myself that I could do a couple things at the same time. Like I went to, obviously you met me in college. Like I
Yeah,
went there
that's how
for
I know
graphic
you.
design,
Yeah.
thinking I could like split myself in 2 avenues there and like just work on music on the side and then do the graphic design as like my main income or whatever. And I gave it a shot and it kind of sucked. So I was like, obviously I dropped out and shit. I think that
Hmm.
was another moment where I was like, okay, this is something I need to do because I can't find myself being happy doing anything else.
Well, like one
So
thing that I found really interesting, like when I first met you back in like September of 2019, was like, yeah, obviously, like you said earlier, you kind of wanted to balance both. And then as I got to know you more and more, it felt like as time went on as well, obviously, it felt like you're just going more into music, more into music, more into music. You just kind of said fuck it at one point. And I was like, I just thought that was really interesting because like maybe in September you were just like, you're just like kind of like what's the word? Like you're kind of like attempting to do both at the same time, or maybe did you like already know like deep down like when on your first day like nah fuck this ain't it?
Yeah, I kind of had a bit of a feeling. I was like, I'm not like super passionate about graphic design or anything. I just kind of the most I'd ever do it was like for promotion for my music, like make out like album artwork and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, I think I kind of knew like deep within my soul. I don't. It's kind of corny, but but yeah, I think it just took me actually trying to do it when I realized, okay, what the hell. I like one of my big things like going like that made me want to go to school in the first place though was I actually did want to try and make like connections with people and find more creatively minded people because I mean you're not from Sarnia, but if you spend some time in Sarnia, it's a pretty low energy town. Like the music scene isn't big here. There aren't a lot of creatives. Like it's just I don't know. The goals here are a little different from like the general
Mm-hmm. And
community. I feel
I
like
assume like the networking scene in Sarnia isn't as prevalent as like a college situation.
it's like it's not even there. Like
Yeah.
honestly, I only probably found a few musically inclined people, or even just people that I could connect to creatively, just on any level. And most of them were just like friends of mine. It wasn't even like I meet this person and I'm gonna network with them because of their talents.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think my mindset like I'm gonna go here and try and like make an impression on some people and meet some people that like maybe I can work with in the future and even just
Well, one thing I could definitely say is like you definitely made an impression on me because like one thing out of all the people I've ever met, I don't there's like because there's like people who are into music and then there's you. It's like there's like a whole different category because like I feel like in terms of music, I can have this conversation with you forever. So
oh
it's
yeah.
like I could tell the passion is authentic and it's like real. So it's like I got to give you that. Like some people, I don't know, just like do it as a hobby. But I feel like this is something you want to do. And like from the first day I even met you, it's like I could tell this guy like he wants to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I appreciate that first of all. Like that's cool that that's something you recognize, but um yeah, I think it's not even something I like try to do, it's just like how my brain's wired. Like I don't know. I I'm just so obsessed with it, honestly. I think like a big thing with like anybody who's ever successful like in their field, like if you look at that person, they're obsessed with what they're doing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not just like oh, this is like a hobby for me, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
I
an
think
obsession. Like
that's the word I was looking for. Like I think you have an obsession, a healthy obsession, but like an obsession. Because like I remember when you came over first time to our house, and you're just like just fucking with the guitar, even though you don't really know how to play it, you're just like fucking with it. I'm like, God damn, man! And you were on it for like I'd say at least an hour, like minimum. So I'm like, I gotta give this guy credit. Like he doesn't even know how to play it, yeah. He's just like fucking with it, fucking with it, fucking with it. I'm like, damn, I respect that. So I
yeah,
think
yeah.
obsession was the word I was definitely looking for.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. You probably got like you're like, damn, can someone shut this dude up? Like he's playing sour ass notes. Like what the hell? And he played like one functioning chord. Like please. I've been playing like the same like three notes at the
Yeah,
bottom. I remember too. I was like playing these like little tiny notes. I was like, oh, I'm jamming. Like
yeah.
doing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I was just like messing with the amp settings. I have a guitar now.
Nice.
I don't know if I told you, but yeah, I got a whole electric. I bought an amplifier. Like my buddy
Nice.
Jade, shout out Jaden Weir. Go check that man's Instagram out. He's really talented on the guitar. Like amazing player. Like I don't know. I've had a few studio sessions with him at this point. Super nice guy too. Like he'll just like he'll teach you anything that you want to know. Basically, like he just knows it all. It seems like been
Yeah,
playing for
shout out to
like
Jaden.
half a decade at this point. Like kid's really talented.
Yeah.
He hooked me up with a free guitar. Like he gave me a free electric, gave me a free acoustic. I was like, damn, this man really just giving me guitars for no reason. Like what?
Damn.
Taught me a bunch of shit. Like taught me like some scales and some chord structures. And like I've just been like playing around on the guitar. Like that track I mentioned earlier that I was like singing on. I actually played the guitar on it. and I've been incorporating the guitar in more of my tracks. It adds to the soul. Honestly, it's pretty dope. Like you know,
Nice.
I was playing, like I was just like fiddling around, like when I was at your guys' place. I've actually become a lot more proficient with it since then. Like
That's good, man.
seriously, I mean,
I mean,
yeah. So
we're talking about networking earlier. That's a great network to have. The guy just gives you free shit. Like,
I mean,
that's
that's all
amazing.
feel
I
like.
mean, like, obviously, that's not like the main point, but
Hey, Jade's next to me. You can have some free shit.
like, I mean, like that's such a because like those are like really expensive. So like, but like so that's really cool. And also, he just like teaches you, like what
Yeah.
a gem of a human being. What's his Instagram?
His Instagram is, hold on, Jaden Weir Music, I believe. Hold on. I'm gonna get it. I'll pull it up.
Man deserves a shout out.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's Jaden Musics. Jaden
All right.
Musics. So JAYDEN Musics.
Shout out to
Shout
him.
out to that guy. Yeah, sick dude. So far.
All right, moving on. The one question we already talked on this, like we already touched on it, but one thing I really want to talk about was like your mental state. So, how difficult was it at the time to drop out of college and like make the decision of like music, man? That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because on one hand, it was like a pretty difficult jump, but on the other hand, like it was like oddly comfortable, if that makes sense. Like, so there's like I feel like especially now, like with the way like our society functions, like there's a lot of pressure to like know what you're doing, like, you know, and feel secure. Like financial security is such a priority, and especially like I feel like this is something that, I mean, something you can probably relate to, like coming up in an environment that isn't very financially secure. Like nothing's really certain, you know, money's hard to come by. And you know, it's not necessarily like your fault or anything. It can be pretty hard to like be okay with not really knowing what your money situation is going to be, you know, like a few months down the line. Like I don't know if you feel that, but
No, I do.
like
I do.
now that we're like adults and shit, we gotta manage our own finances. Like
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like I always like to have a nice little cushion, like before I do anything. So there's that, and so that aspect, like that's a pretty scary jump, because I mean the music scene for like the average artist, like you're probably gonna be broke as shit, honestly. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But you know, I had to make a decision. I was like, am I gonna be like financially comfortable, or am I gonna be like genuinely happy in life? And like lately I've been trying to pivot my philosophy with like the way I live and focus more on like happiness than money. And like, you know, graphic design still not really money making. Like, yeah, you can make money in it, but it's not like a top. If you want to go make money, you should go be like a doctor or some shit, you know. Not a graphic designer, but it was still like I was like I'm gonna have a more comfortable income on that than I will music, you know. So there was that, like knowing that I just dumped like $13,000 on a fucking 1 year out of college just to not even use any of it was kind of annoying. And you know, knowing that I'm now in debt $13,000 also kind of annoying. But to like bring it back around, like the comfortable thing was I wasn't feeling it. Like I didn't like the schoolwork. It was demotivating. Like it was stressful. You know, I was struggling to keep up with it. So when I decided, you know what, this just isn't for me at this point. Like I can't keep forcing myself to do this. That was actually a comfortable moment in that way, because I knew that whatever I do now, even if maybe it's not financially secure, I'm prioritizing my happiness, and I'm making sure that I'm doing something that like fulfills me in some way rather than like brings me down. So, you know, it was like two sides of a coin, basically.
Well, I honestly really fuck with that, because obviously being in broadcasting, that's like a very, very risky thing, because it's such a big market. But like, I just want to do what makes me happy, you know? Because obviously, as I said earlier, like growing up in like a very poor environment, you almost have like you're almost forced the mentality of like financial security, get something good, get a house, you know, just do your 9 to 5 and grind. But it's just like And that's what I realized in high school, and that's why I'm in this program. Just like, I don't want to do that, man. I want to do what makes me happy. Like, I can't work that. It doesn't matter how much money you give me. It's like I'm not gonna just be happy overall. Like, I want to enjoy my work.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, it doesn't take that. It doesn't take me that much to be like happy with what I got. Like, I don't need that much money either. Like, in my eyes, like, I don't need that much to live off of and still be good. Like, as long as I can like pay my electricity bill and my internet bill and like sit at a fucking computer and make music for 8 hours, I think I'm chilling, honestly.
You're born poor,
yeah.
you'll die poor. I love that mentality.
This is the lane like I like set myself in. Like I'm cool with it. But nah, for real, like it would be cool to have some money. Like obviously down the line, maybe when I get there, that'd be chill. But like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't even want to like hoard it or anything. Like if I start getting money, like I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna do with it, honestly. I'm probably gonna get like a modest house and like I don't know, like I guess one thing, I definitely buy myself like a studio. Like I'd build a studio, like a real one, like acoustically treated, like big, let it people can hang out in there and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But any money like beyond that, like I don't even know what I'm gonna do with it, honestly, if that ever gets
fair.
to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, like you said, like it's just it's weird to shake the mentality of like it's not I need that money to like survive, because you know, I think especially in a family environment, like the amount of money you need to survive is a lot higher than when you're just on your own too. And yeah, I don't know. That's where it's at.
I respect that. Now, we obviously kind of talked about, like you said, you're perfectly okay with this lifestyle that you've chosen, like currently. But I have a serious question to ask you, right? I want you to be 100% honest, right? Like honesty, right? It's key. Okay.
I got you.
Do you honestly think you'll make it as like a musician?
Oh, that's an interesting question. You know, I think everyone needs to believe in themselves. Like, I think first and foremost, if you're doing something, you know, you got to let the ego take control a little bit and, you know, be like, you know what? Nah, this is something I could see myself doing. But I'm also a heavy realist. Like, I know that my chances of becoming some like blockbuster mainstream artist kind of slim, right? Like, I mean, not even kind of slim. Like, I probably like fucking 0. I don't know, add a bunch of zeros and then 1 chance, you know. But you know, for me, my goal isn't really to end up there anyways. Like even if I can just find an audience, like just some kind of audience, like obviously with how saturated the market is in music right now, you need to have your own lane anyways. Like you can't be making what everyone else is making. So you got to try and find your own sound and like bring something new to the table that hasn't already been done, because that's the only way you're going to build traction and get an audience in the first place. So you know, even if it kind of depends on your definition of making it, right? Like for me, making it would just be finding an audience, having a steady enough income to not have to do another job on the side while I make music. That's really it. Like, I think I could get there? Yeah, I think I could. I really do. Like, it's going to take a lot of hard work, and like, you know, this next year, like I'm actually going to go try and take a music recording arts class in Fanshawe College in London there. And I'm not even, you know, part of me is going there for the music, like the music class itself, learn some shit. But the other part of me is just going there so I have a new environment and a new network of people to connect with. And there's a music scene there, and I'm just going to grind it out hard for like a year. Like that's where it'll be. So who knows? Like stuff happens quick in the music world. Like, you know, all it takes is like one break, one song to get some attention or whatever, and now you're in like you're in the waves, you know. So yeah, I think I could do it. I believe in myself. Obviously, I think, and like I said, anybody who's going into anything, they need to believe in themselves. And they say like it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's like a quote I really live by. There's a lot of people who come into the music scene thinking that they're going to get fast success and that they're going to come in 1 year, make some music, and they're going to get a hit and be like famous. It does not work like that. You have to have the marathon mentality where you're in it for the long run. So every move you make is something that is going to set you up down the road. So, you know, right now I'm taking a lot of time just honing in on my craft, like just making my music sound as good as I can. And like, yeah, I'm not putting out a ton of music or anything, but I know when I do put out music, it's going to be of quality. So like there's that kind of mentality. Like right now, I'm not trying to just pump out a bunch of music and see if something sticks. Like I'm trying to like make the music good first, and then I'll put it out. And I think a lot of people, like, they just come in and they just put a bunch of stuff out, and you know, if it works, it works. And then if it doesn't, they just like give up. But like for me, I'm just gonna keep going. Like I'm in it for the long run. So even if, you know, 3 years from now I'm still nowhere, like I'm not gonna quit. So if you don't quit, can you ever really fail? I don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think
I think that's a great answer, man.
yeah.
Well, hey, I'm really glad you believe yourself. I believe in you. If that makes anything any better.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, you talked about this of like just now about like you have to stand out. What do you think makes you stand out?
Ooh, that's a really good question, man. You got good questions. I'm see you. I like that. Wow, that's a loaded ass question, to be honest with you. I think one main thing. This is something I talked about earlier too, where when you bring emotion into the music, it becomes a lot more impactful. I think you know, one thing that you can bring to the table as an artist is just personal experience, and be just like personal emotion. So I think when I make my music, I make sure that like who I am really goes into it. So things I've felt, experiences I've been through, I make sure they go into the music. I'm not trying to make stuff that's like superficial, or like, you know, just I mean, you see it a lot in like hip hop right now, where it's just like a lot of the same reoccurring topics. Like it feels like sometimes people are just talking about stuff just because it's the trendy thing to talk about. Like I'm really focusing on like stuff that's personal to me. So when I make the music, I feel like it comes from, like, you can feel that it comes from a genuine place, and a lot of people would like relate to that. And like the best music I've made has been the most vulnerable music I made. So I think when you hit that mark, and someone can listen to that and be like, oh, I've had a similar experience, I can connect with this. That's when it's like a good song. And even if that happens to like one person when they hear the song, that's a success in my eyes. So I think honestly there's that. Like I put all of myself into the music. You know, I make my own beats. Like all my stuff all of my production is handled by me. I make my own beats. I make the cover art. I write the lyrics. I perform all the shit. I do all the mixing myself. And obviously part of that's like a financial limitation. Like I can't pay other people to do the shit for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I will eventually down the line, hopefully. But you know, even if I do pay other people, the ideas are still going to come from me. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just the fact that I'm putting everything about myself into the music. That's what sets me apart, honestly, in my
Well,
eyes.
I like that answer. That's good. That's good.
Thanks, man.
Like these questions are like hitting me different, man. Because like,
Yeah.
you know, like we always have these like casual conversations with each other, but like this is some deep shit, man. Like you're leaving me speechless, man. I gotta say.
Yeah. This is your podcast, man. You're
Yeah,
talking.
I know. It's my first episode though, so cut me some slack. All right. So you already have a plan for like next year. But where do you realistically think you'll be in 5 years? Do you have any short-term goals that you want to reach? Is one of those
Short.
goals by any chance driving a black Dodge Challenger with chrome rims?
What question is that? I know what you're referring to, but I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, number one. No, I don't give a shit about cars. I still drive a Ford Ranger. It's beat as hell, but I just replaced the windshield wipers on it yesterday, actually. So, you know, I don't really care about cars like that. But yeah, I know what you're referring to. My mom owns that black Dodge Challenger. She actually sold that shit.
Oh,
Because
really?
it was way too pricey to maintain. Yeah, she has a GMC now. She drives like a truck, just like me. So yeah, rest in peace to the black Dodge Challenger with the chrome rims.
Shout out to your mom.
Um, lots of shout outs today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. I mean, I think yeah, I won't see myself driving a car like that, honestly. I will probably drive the Ford Ranger until it dies and just like
Mhm.
probably buy another cheap car after that. Like I really don't care as long as I can get around. But short term goals, like I definitely want to try and get a project out. I know I've been teasing that two sides EP for a hot minute now. I actually scrapped that shit, to be honest with you. Scrapped it. Um, I know you're like, damn it, this kid was like
Whoa.
supposed to put some music out. I know that's kind of a bombshell. I haven't really said anything about it. That's why. But
Yeah, damn. Okay.
the
What?
thing is this, what's doing it for me right now, man, is like the stuff that I was making when I was making that EP. It's not really hitting anymore for me. Like a lot of it's very amateurish. It doesn't really reflect where my music is right now. And when I was like gearing to put it out, I was like, it kind of feels like I'm just putting this out just to put something out, not because it's actually like that good, honestly. And like, I put that last single out and it was probably easily the worst song I've ever made, honestly. And I was like, shit, I really just put that out just to put that out. Like, I don't know. I've been working on a lot of new music lately. I actually I joined this little collective of like online like artists and whatnot. Elevate 21. They're a bunch of talented guys. They've been really pushing me to like elevate my music. I guess that's really the name of the group.
Yeah,
Um,
makes sense.
so yeah, so the stuff I've been making lately has just been that like such a higher standard than the stuff that was going to be on that EP, to be honest with you. So I got into this mindset where I was making all this new stuff and it was good, but I still had this like old shit that wasn't that good. And I realized I was like, I would much rather put this new stuff out than even like deal with this old shit anymore. And like I just decided to scrap it. Like I just didn't think it was worth putting out anymore. And I got a bunch of like new music that's on the way very soon. It's a lot of it's like pretty far into completion. It's no EP, but it's a bunch of tracks. So we'll see where it's at. But
Nice.
yeah, I think once I start collecting myself creatively a little bit here, like I'm still making a lot of very diverse music. I don't know, I'm experimenting a lot. Once I start honing in on a sound a little bit, I really want to get a project out. I think short term, I can see myself putting in a project maybe within the year or so. Like honestly, but a new project, something different. I don't want to do that two side shit no more. And and yeah, I just got some bigger visions for a project than that. Honestly, it felt like I was just putting together a collection of tracks at that point, and I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. And
Hmm.
now I'm kind of coming into my own a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited to put that stuff out. Whenever that comes to me, we'll see. But definitely short term goal. Like I need to get a project out there. I only got singles out right now.
Hmm.
Solidify
Do you
myself.
think that like in the future, so like 3 years time, you'll look back at the music you make now and find it cringe, or do you think it's timeless?
I don't think I'll find it cringe because I mean, some of the music I made before, I find a little cringe. Like you know, 2 years ago or so.
Well, not like necessarily cringe. Maybe let me think of a better
It's just
word.
like
Like something you just don't feel. Like it's not good.
yeah, totally. That will probably happen. But there is some stuff I've been making now that I'm like, you know what? This is kind of matching my taste with some of the music I just find myself listening to just to listen to. So I'm sure like in terms of like the mixing and like the mastering process and like just the quality of the sound, I'll probably look back at this and be like, okay, this shit was kind of amateur. But in terms of like the stuff I put into the music, what I'm saying, I don't think that's ever gonna change. Like at the end of the day, like you make music for yourself first and foremost. You don't make music for other people. So as long as it still resonates with you, like when you make it, it should still resonate with you later down the line. So um I think for me it'll be timeless. Maybe not for everybody, but like I still go back and listen to like old beats from like 2.5 years ago. I'm like shit, that is trash, but I still fuck with it for some reason. I don't really understand.
Yeah, because like one thing, like for me at least, is like looking back at some of the stuff I did for my course, like last year. I remember the mindset I had at the time. I'm like, I'm working hard. This shit is gonna sound amazing. And I listen to it now. It's like God damn, that's hot garbage. But it's like you kind of remember that mindset of like, I'm gonna get this done, and this sounds amazing. And by making all these like short-term fixes, you don't even notice how like better you become.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, I mean, you see it yourself. I think when it comes to anything that isn't like a like a mathematical job or some shit, where you got to like play by the numbers, when it's something that's like a free flowing creative experience, all you can do to get better is just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, as long as you keep that mentality, and you're like, oh, this one will be better than the next one, like
Mm-hmm.
you can't really go wrong. But yeah, I think like obviously it's okay to go back to your stuff and like be like, okay, this shit was kind of trash. Like that's fine. That's just being real with yourself. And that's actually going to push you to better yourself anyways, honestly. It's always really inspiring to like look back at where you were a year ago and see where you are now, and like be like, oh shit, like I upped my game, that's pretty sweet. So yeah, that's how I've been feeling lately. So that's why I'm so excited for this new stuff rather than the stuff I was making like a year ago, So
Well,
yeah.
hey, I fuck with that. All right, those are all the questions that I have in terms of like actual discussion. Now I have a different segment. So these are just quick fire questions. So no thinking, no breaking down the question. It's just answer. You have to answer. Just boom. All ready?
Well, you want like a yes or no or shit?
No,
Like,
no, no. I'll just give you two options. You just got to pick them. So
all right,
either or. All right, you ready?
Okay, all right, let's get it.
All right, you have to answer, Donna. Pizza or sushi?
Pizza.
No more movies or no more TV shows?
Shit. No more movies.
Always drunk or always sober?
Always sober.
1 foot shorter in height or bald by 23?
Shit, I'm 5'6". I can't lose another inch. I think I'll go bald.
The thought of you being bald fucking kills me. I remember when I wrote this question, I'm like, the thought of Donna being bald is the funniest fucking shit. All right, next question. We move. All right, SoundCloud or Spotify?
SoundCloud.
Vocals or instrumentals?
Instrumentals.
The Weeknd or Post Malone?
The Weeknd.
Never win or never play?
Never win.
Day or night?
Night.
And final question. Would you rather have lupus or a hole in your heart?
Put a hole in my heart. Shit.
Shout out to all from here.
That's all. What the hell? Hole in my heart.
All right, man. That's all the questions I have for you, man. Thank you so much.
That's
all I had. That's all I have, man. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to talk to me.
Oh man, I could have taken more time. Honestly, that was dope.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So, as the final part of this podcast, I'm rolling out the red carpet for you, my friend. Plug whatever you want. The stage is yours.
Okay. All right. I've been watching a lot of Hot Ones lately, and I feel like you just ripped that straight out of Sean Evans'
Oh, for
playbook.
sure.
No
question.
Yeah. I just want to. Yeah. I mean, I got some big ideas right now. I'm actually going to be changing my artist name real soon. I'm just going to make it my real name. So D-Mars Music. You see that name right now. Next song, it's just going to be Donna Lemay, straight up. That's the first thing I should get out the way. So like, I'm obviously gonna change my socials and shit. But right now, for now, it's D-Mars Music everywhere. You can find me on, I don't know, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud. You know the biz. Yeah, but I got a new song on the way. I can't give a due date yet because I'm a busy boy. I'm gonna be traveling to Ottawa, so I got a week where I can't really work on no music for a bit. But yeah, beyond that, just keep posted. Like, I got new stuff on the way. I just can't. I'm not good with due dates, as evident in my my past self. So whenever. Other things. Yeah, just keep doing you. Keep being yourself. Do your thing. marathon on a sprint mentality, and yeah, drink Gatorade, Iceberg, Frost. Shit's pretty gas. There we go.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much once again. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I really enjoyed myself. First episode, hopefully first of many. So take care, and we'll see you next time.
Dude, it was an honor. Thanks for having me on. Peace.